So, hello everybody and welcome. Yes, welcome back here at BSN Network. Welcome back here, BSN Network. This is the BSN Network podcast here today. It is Thursday, December 10th. Hope everyone's having a good day so far and a good rest of their day. Yesterday, it is in fact Thursday, December 10th. Hopefully everybody's having a good day so far. We got a lot of sports to get to today. There wasn't much on last night. No football. No, obviously, not really anything else. There was no football on, no college or NFL, but some college basketball games were on. I was watching Florida State, Indiana. It was a very good game. Went into overtime. Florida State ended up pulling it out late. If I'm not mistaken, I think the final score was, I think it was 69-67. I think the final score was something like that. I think around there. So it was a very close game, but a very good game as well. So I watched that. It wasn't the most entertaining thing in the world, but it was a good game. It was actually pretty entertaining. It was a good game, and hopefully you continue to get these good games in college basketball because it's always nice. It's always nice to see what happens. It's always nice to see, these close games in any sport. I've always said this. I don't like blowouts. I like close games. I like games where you're at the edge of your seat on the final 1 or 2 minutes of the game. And for the MLB that doesn't have a clock, I like when you're at the edge of your seat in the bottom of the ninth or the ninth inning, and you got bases loaded up, and it's a one-run game, and you got your power hitter up. Those are the best type of games. So you got a couple good games. Got one real good game today in college basketball. You got a really good game today. That's later on though. You got San Diego State, number 24th ranked team in the nation, versus the number 23rd ranked team in the nation in Arizona State. So that's probably one game today. I'll be watching Thursday night football though, as it is in fact Thursday night football today. I'll give you my keys to the game like always. It's crazy. We're already starting week 14. It really is crazy. But the season's flying by, and hopefully everything goes as planned for the rest of the year. With not too many more outbreaks for the teams, and hopefully we could just finish this year smoothly and move on to the playoffs, and that's when it really gets fun. So these are the topics for today's podcast. We got Rams versus Patriots like always, and in fantasy football that will be the same topic like always. Give you the keys to the game since it's a Thursday game. I'll give you the keys to the game, give you what I think about the game, just give you keys for offense, keys for defense, all that good stuff. So you just gotta, obviously, just talk about that. Then our second topic's an interesting one. I did this before with the NFL trade deadline. Sure enough, the NFL trade deadline was the worst trade deadline ever. I mean, it was horrendous. There's nobody that got traded, all that stuff. So obviously, we did that. But this is a MLB buy or sell. So I got a paper over there. I just labeled down 6 rumors. They're not really complete big rumors, but they're headlines. A lot of people have been talking about these 6 rumors, and I split it up. I told you if I buy this rumor or if I would sell this rumor. Buy meaning I think it's going to happen. For example, player 1 goes to the Yankees. If I buy that means I think he will. If I sell it, that means I don't think he will, and he'll probably go to another team. Am I going to tell you that team? Maybe. Some of these I don't really know where they could possibly go. Some of them for example, there's one on this list where I said that a player, is this team going to trade this player? I'm not going to tell you whether I said sell or buy. But if let's just say I do say sell, then that means he's going to stay there. And if I say buy, that means he's going to go. I don't know quite where he would go. But yeah, that's kind of the gist of it. I'll play buy or sell. It's a little game. Buy, I'll tell you if I buy this rumor or if I sell this rumor. And then after the trade, after the off season, I'll pull this out and see which ones I got right, which ones I got wrong, and did I straight up just whiff on all of them? What happened? We'll talk about them. Then we got college basketball and college football. There's one big college basketball game on tonight, and college football. There's a couple games on tonight. I'll preview them, but I'm not really going to do much with them because I'm not going to watch it. I'm going to be watching the Rams versus Patriots game. Obviously, that's the real headline game. But, at least a little bit of a preview into college football. A lot of good games this week for college football. A lot of good games. this week in college football, so that's going to be really interesting to see what happens there. Another packed sports weekend ahead of us. Obviously, we're on Thursday. It's almost Friday. It's almost another packed sports weekend. So with all that being said, this is the BSN podcast, and let's get right into it. So today, as crazy it may sound, it is in fact week 14. Week 14. It is crazy I am saying that, of the NFL season. It really is. Week 14 of the NFL season. I am in fact saying that, and there is a game tonight. I just realized something. It's been 2 weeks since Thanksgiving, right? Which is just mind-boggling because it felt like just yesterday was Thanksgiving. So it's been 2 weeks since Thanksgiving, which means it's been 2 weeks since we had a Thursday night football game. So that's just something I realized. We have not had a Thursday night football game since those Thanksgiving Day games. We had the We had the Redskins and the Cowboys and the Lions-Texans. Those were the games 2 weeks ago. Last week, it was supposed to be the Ravens-Cowboys, but because of all the COVID cases and all the positive tests, we had a game, obviously with all the positive tests and stuff. We had a game we had the Wednesday game, could not play on Thursday. So that game got made up Tuesday. So it's really kind of funny. We have not had a Thursday night football game since Thanksgiving, which isn't that crazy long ago because it's only 2 weeks. It's not like it's been a month since we had a Thursday night football game, but it's still pretty crazy. You know, in a season that's so odd. Thursday night football every week. There's Thursday night. I mean, not every week. You know, I think towards the end of the year you don't have that, but pretty much it's Thursday night football. Thursday night football. As a matter of fact, I think Thursday night football winds down soon. I think, yeah, Thursday night football is starting to wind down. Yeah, it is. So Thursday night football, if I'm not mistaken, yeah. So Thursday night football ends next week, and then we have a Friday night game. Yeah, and then you have a ton of Saturday games as well. There's a ton of Saturday games. That's the week 16. You got the Saturday games. Those are the week 16. Yeah, week 16. It's the special Saturday games. But yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy to think. But yeah, football's winding down for the NFL. So yeah, week 15. Next week is the final week for Thursday night football because you have this week's game, then next week's game, and then week 16. You don't have any Thursday night football unless, if like I said, this season, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a Thursday night game because of all the cancellations. But yeah, so it's pretty crazy how Thursday night football is winding down. I've always said this, Thursday night football is all right. I mean, I watch it and stuff, but it's usually not your prime games, your prime teams. And the coaches and players don't like it either because if you don't realize, let's just say you have a game on Sunday. Monday is usually a rest day. Tuesday, maybe a slight walkthrough / practice day. Wednesday, you got to travel. Especially this year. You got to be there at least 24 hours before the game. So you got to travel on Wednesday, which is just mind-boggling to me, that you pretty much have 1 day of practice to whip up a quick game plan and get on the football field. And in a game like this for the Patriots, what I'm going to talk about in just a little bit here, in a game like today with the Patriots, it's a big game for them. They had a day to whip up a game plan. Now, I know it is Bill Belichick, but still. You need more time than just a day. That's why if you see sometimes teams are sluggish out of the start on Thursday night games, is because they're playing 2 games within 5 days, which is just really crazy. That's why if you see a lot of times injuries hurt more on Thursday night games. I mean, that's why it's actually a fact. A lot of times injury reports are longer on Thursday night games because let's just say you suffer an injury on Sunday and you don't practice Tuesday, but you still feel fine Wednesday and you don't practice then. Like, you could go into the game questionable because you didn't even practice once. So, then enough with my rambling there. But oh my goodness, the New England Patriots are dealing with a lot of injuries. Or a lot of at least questionables. Really is crazy. But yeah, so that's what I just kind of my little bit of Thursday night ramble. But yes, it is in fact Thursday night football tonight. These are the two teams. We got the Los Angeles Rams going against the New England Patriots tonight. 8:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Fox and the NFL Network, whichever one you want to watch it on. 4.5 point favorite. The Rams come into this game at 4.5 point favorites, and the over/under is 44. And I actually got a comment a couple days ago from someone, and I definitely really enjoy the comments from anyone who comments. But I got a comment a couple days. I don't know. It might have been the Tuesday game, maybe when I was previewing the Cowboys-Ravens game, or the Monday game, which was Yeah, the Tuesday game. It might have been either the Monday game or the Tuesday game, whichever, the two Monday games, whichever it was. And it was question about what is the over-under. The over-under, it doesn't really help me with my picks. The over-under, if I say the over-under is for the total amounts of points scored in a game. So, for instance, today, if the over-under is set at 44, that means if you take the over, that means you think that the two teams combined will score more than 44 points. That's why a lot of times you see if they're expecting a game to be high scoring, the over-under might be like 50 or 55. If you see a game with two bad offenses, the over-under might be like 40 or 41. So that's what the over-under. If I take the under, so for example, today, if I take the over on the over-under of 44, that means I think it's going to be the two teams' total points scored will be more than 44. If I take the under, that means I think they'll score less than 44 points total. It's not one team, it's both teams combined. That's why if you see me at times taking teams 30 to 20 or whatever, and the over-under is like 40, I'm automatically taking the over. That's the over-under. It doesn't help me with my picks. It doesn't really. I mean, it may be a little bit because I could kind of gauge where the odds are to how many points are going to be scored. Because if it's over-under 50, that usually means that it's going to be around 50. If it's a 30, that usually means they're expecting a low-scoring game. If it's 40, it's right about in the middle. A lot of times it's mid to high 40s is about the average over-under. A very low one's like 39, and a very high one's like 55, 56. That's why in college you see a lot of times they could be up to 60, 65, because college years tends to be a lot more scoring. You could get a team that scores 60 points in college. So that's why the over-under, that's the over-under, just to clear that out. So with all that being said, now let's get into the game tonight between the Los Angeles Rams and the New England Patriots. This is a big game for both teams, especially for the Patriots, being that they are still trying to fight for a playoff spot and trying to get in. And for the Rams, they're trying to really secure their spot and take that NFC West. Obviously, at the moment, they are 8-4. So if they just keep on if they could just keep on winning. I mean, they've got winnable games ahead of them. Tonight's a winnable game for them. If they keep on winning, they'll be in a good position to finish the season as NFC West champions. It's crazy how this Rams team, 1 year they're good, 1 year they're bad, 1 year they're good. You know, a couple years ago they made the Super Bowl. Last year they won, 7-9, I think. This year they're 8-4 again. It's crazy, this team, and it's almost the same roster every year. It just must be, some years are better than other years. But anyway, so let's get into it here. So I'm going to give you the keys to the game. Like I always do, I don't have to explain it any more further. Give you the keys to the game for the Rams on offense and defense. Give you the keys to the game for the Patriots on offense and defense. So let's get into it. I'll start off with the Rams. I usually just randomize it, whichever team I start off with. So let's start off with the Los Angeles Rams, and let's go from here. So let's go. This is the keys to the game. First off, let's start off with offense, like I always do. So the Rams' key to the game for the offense, right? Tonight, the Rams are going up against a pretty good defense in the Patriots. I feel like overall, and we'll get to this in a little bit when we talk about the Patriots on both sides of the ball, I feel like overall, as the Patriots, it really comes down to, they're playing well. And I think for the Rams, it's really what team do you get? What team do you get, right? What Patriots team are you going to get today? That's the really, 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 really big deal, right? What are you going to get today? What Patriots team are you going to get today? And that's my big thing that's what actually has to go really into what my keys to the game for the Rams is today, is depending on what Patriots team you get. If you get the Patriots team that just beat the Chargers 45-0, got a couple big wins here and there, a team that just beat the Chargers 45-0, a team that beat the Cardinals, a team that really, really, really upset the Ravens. You start to look at that, a team that, or are you going to get the Patriots team that's going to barely beat the Jets, going to look horrendous at home against a banged-up 49ers team, going to make late-game mistakes against the Buffalo Bills like they did with that fumble? What Patriots team are you going to get? That's why it was difficult for me to choose this key to the game. It really was difficult because I think of it two ways. If you're getting the bad Patriots team, just straight up Just do whatever you want. Because if you're getting the bad Patriots team, you're getting the Patriots team that doesn't show up to the game, then just straight up run whatever you want, because it's going to be a bad game for the opposing team. If you're getting a good Patriots team, you got to come in with if you're playing against a good Patriots team and you realize through the first 2 quarters, okay, all right, they're really competitive with us, then you got to change some things out. But really, though, for my key to the game for the Rams, and this might sound obvious, and I know a lot of times it sounds obvious, but Jared Goff has a lot of playmakers around him, right? He has a lot of guys around him. He's had Robert Woods, he's got Higbee, he's got Everett, he's got Cam Akers in the backfield, Darrell Henderson in the backfield. He's got 2 star receivers in Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp, 2 very fast receivers, as I really should say, if I really want to get into detail, 2 very quick receivers in Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp. So I think the key to the game is for them, and there's been times where Patriots have had times where they've struggled stopping playmakers. You could say that Rashad Perryman for the Jets at times can make very good plays. They really struggled stopping him. Denzel Mims had a good game against the Patriots as well. He's a very good playmaker. He can make plays. You look at some other guys. Just think about some other names. The Patriots. I mean, if you just think about some names against even the Texans. Watson had a very good game against them. When they lost to the 49ers, the 49ers were able to really get into their playmakers' hands. Obviously, I know Kittle had a pretty good game. He had like 50 yards or whatever. He had a pretty good game, right? So obviously, that's been one of the really weaknesses. But I think today, if you're the Rams, you got to get in your playmakers' hands. Get it in Robert Woods' hands. Get it in get it in Robert Woods. Get it in Cooper Kupp. Make sure you get it in those running backs too. Cam Akers had a couple really good runs this season. Darrell Henderson's been very, very, very efficient, has been very reliable. You've got you don't have any of these big stars. You very, very reliable when it comes down to, you got to be very reliable. Darrell Henderson's been very reliable. You need him to get you 5-6 yards, he'll get you it. Cam Akers, you need him to get an outburst of a run. Cam Akers can be fast once he hits that edge and really makes his body go upfield. So I think you got to get the ball in your playmakers' hands. You see what happens when this Rams team gets the ball in their playmakers' hands. Robert Woods last week, 88 yards. Guess what? You want to know what happened? Guess what? The Rams won. Cooper Kupp, good game. Guess what? Rams won. Cam Akers, I think he had a touchdown and a pretty big run. Guess what? Rams won. If you get the ball in your playmakers' hands, you're gonna beat the Patriots. Get the ball in your playmakers' hands. That's the key to the game for the Rams. Now the key to the game for the Patriots is you gotta stop the run. You're gonna have to stop the run. Okay? They're not gonna damage you passing. Cam Newton has not done that this season. Really hasn't done it really all out and in his entire career. He hasn't really damaged teams in the passing game. He's always been known as a mobile, a running quarterback. That is what Cam Newton's been known as, right? He's not known as a guy that's going to throw the ball 70 yards downfield 5 times a game. He's a guy that's going to throw the ball. He'll throw it decently deep, not 70 yards deep, not the strongest arm in the league. He's a guy he's a guy that can roll outside, use his height and his speed to his advantage against some of these smaller defenders, especially some of these smaller and not as lengthy cornerbacks, some of these smaller and not as strong safeties. Guys like that, you have to stop the run, especially when these guys get into the second level. And not even specifically just stop the run on Cam Newton, but the Patriots have a lot of good up-and-coming guys. They've got Rex Burkhead. Damian Harris has had a very good year. You got to stop the run. That is the strength of this Patriots team. You got to find a way to stop it. And I'm telling you this, you got to make sure Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, guys like that, lock down, get focused, and win this game because you got to stop the run. That's the strength of this Patriots team. Let them throw. Let them throw the ball. They're not going to damage you in the passing game, or at least that's what I think. Cam Newton's not going to go off for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns against a Jalen Ramsey and guys like that in that secondary. They're not going to damage you. Where they will damage you is in the running game. They will do that. Are they amazing at it? No, but they're definitely much better in the run game than they are in the passing game. So you have to stop the run if you're the Rams. And the Rams have done that good all year. I mean, they really have. And their defense this season has been unreal all around. And especially when this Patriots team catches fire, this Patriots team, when things are going well for this Patriots team, you find it very hard to stop them. So you got to stop them early. You can't give them any momentum early. Rams' key to the game is to stop the run. Now we move on. So the offensive key to the game is get the ball in your playmakers' hands. Their secondary isn't the strongest. Get your ball in the playmakers' hands. You find games when Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp are on, they win. When they're off, they lose. Simple as that. Get the ball in your playmakers' hands. And it also stop the run and especially stop Cam Newton. Because another thing I realized too about this Patriots team, when the Patriots struggle, Cam Newton struggles. Or when Cam Newton struggles, the Patriots struggle. And you could say that about almost every team. But it's the truth. Now, you could say that about every team. Oh, this guy had a bad game. Not necessarily. Players could have bad games and they could still win. It's the truth. Quarterbacks could have bad games and still pull out a win. I mean, it's happened many times before, right? Quarterbacks can have bad games and still pull out a win, right? It's happened before. For example, I think Daniel Jones this season had a game against the Redskins where he threw one touchdown and I think 2 interceptions or something. And the Giants still won. Is 1 touchdowns and 2 interception good? No, it's not. It's not good. You're right? There's times where you can have a bad quarterback performance. Your quarterback could struggle, and you could still find a way to get the win. For example, this might sound a little... I don't know. I don't really want to use this as a really example, but Matt Ryan, for example, against the Raiders. He didn't play that well. He threw, I think, a pick and a touchdown and maybe only like 190-something yards. He didn't play that well. He really didn't. Guess what? They won 43-6. So there's times where your quarterback didn't play that good, but you still find a way to get the win. With the Patriots, if Cam Newton doesn't play good, they don't get the win. There's times where quarterbacks might not be on their A game and the team still get the win. If Cam Newton's not on his A game, they lose. So really try to, if you could stop Cam Newton, you're good. And that might sound obvious because you always want to stop the quarterback, but even if you stop Mahomes, they still find a way to win. There's a difference. So stop the run game, really, especially stop Cam Newton, and get the ball in your playmakers' hands. Those are the keys of the game for the Rams. Now I move on to the keys of the game for the Patriots. This was an odd one for me. I'm trying to be creative with them because I find sometimes I always just counter it. If the Rams say to stop the run, it's Patriots say to pound the ball. I didn't really want to do that because I feel like that sounds repetitive. So I tried this one today. I thought this was a good idea. Right? We all know how good Aaron Donald is, and Jalen Ramsey too, but I really want to hone in on Aaron Donald because I really think he's the best defender on that team. Jalen Ramsey has his moments. He's been very good, but in terms of just he's almost disrupting almost every single play. It's the truth. It really is. And if you don't believe me, look at his numbers, and they'll tell you why he's probably one of the best defensive linemen in the league. Okay, so Aaron Donald disrupts almost everything. And this Patriots team this season, their offensive line's pretty solid. I mean, it's not amazing. It's not bad. It's about in the middle. It's not an offensive line I would, really, really, really want, but it's also not an offensive line I would say, heck no, get him out of here, right? It's one of those things. So this is a key to the game for the Patriots on offense. I really believe this is stop Aaron Donald. Because if you look at the Rams defense, when Aaron Donald is silent, they don't win games. When Aaron Donald's almost like he's not even on the field, or when he's not even in the stadium. When you don't hear Aaron Donald's name at least once or twice, or you don't see Aaron Donald within 5 feet of the quarterback at least once or twice in a game, the Rams tend to lose. It's the truth. It really is. Look at some of their games. When Aaron Donald struggles, the Rams struggle. It's just that different energy, that different style of play he brings. So for the Patriots today, it's stop Aaron Donald. You cannot win a game when Aaron Donald's pressuring you every single play. You cannot win a game when you have 20, 25 hurry-ups in the pocket for Cam Newton. You cannot do that if you're the New England Patriots. You have to stop Aaron Donald. If that means double-teaming him, if that means triple-teaming him. If that means triple-teaming him, sure, go do it. because stopping Aaron Donald really, 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 really changes the way the Rams play and the whole trajectory of the game goes if Aaron Donald is quiet. If you don't hear the announcer say Aaron Donald twice or 3 times in the game, you know it's a bad day for the Rams. You don't want that. You don't want to be that guy. You don't want to be that team where Aaron Donald's name's being brung up almost every single play. And I don't care if he's not getting the sack number. If he's still around the quarterback a ton and he's still pushing Cam and pressuring him, I don't care about it. If he's still doing that, then that's still not stopping him good. I'm not saying if he gets no sacks, that's not still. But if he's pressuring Cam almost every play, that's not stopping him. You got to stop Aaron Donald. You got to do something. If it means double teaming him, triple teaming, we've seen him break out of double teams. So if it means triple teaming him, sure, because you shouldn't be worried about really anyone else on that line. They've got good players, but no one like Aaron Donald. I mean, it's tough to compare because Aaron Donald is by far one of the best. So you got to stop Aaron Donald if you're the New England Patriots. That's the key to the game. Because if you don't stop him, then you can't get your run game going. You're not going to be able to get your pass game going. Everything's just going to crumble. You got to find a way to stop Aaron Donald. That's the key to the game for the Patriots on offense. Now the key to the game for the Patriots on defense. You got to find a way to eliminate someone. Okay? I know I say this a ton, but it was kind of tough to find another one because what is another key to the game possibly? Stopping the run game, sure. Stopping the pass game, sure. But those are basic. Figure out a way, whether that means moving McCourty from the slot or something or to the slot, whatever it means. Got to find a way to eliminate one guy. That could mean Cam Akers. That could mean Robert Woods. Preferably, have a guy that's going to get a ton of the snaps because Cam Akers and Darrell Henderson get about 50-50 of worth of the snaps. They about split them. So if you're a Patriots fan, preferably you would want to get one of those guys that's getting 80-90% of the snaps like Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods. Cam Akers and Darrell Henderson are splitting time, so they're not going to get that nearly as many snaps. But if when they're out there, they're not even there. When they're out there, when Cam Akers and Darrell Henderson take the field at 50% of the time and they're just shut down, then that's good too. But preferably be someone that is, preferably it be someone that's out there for 90% of the time, 90-95% of the snaps. Darrell Henderson and them aren't out there for that much. Maybe 60-70% of the time they are, but that's not that much. Got to find a way to eliminate one of them. This team has playmakers all over the field, not just on offense. They've got them on defense. They've got playmakers all over the field. So you got to find a way to eliminate one of them. Because if you don't, and all 4 of them go off like they did last week, you're going to be in for a very long night as a Patriots player and as a fan. Got to find a way to do that. So that's the key to the game for the Patriots on offense. Because it shows. When Woods has a big game and when Kupp has a big game, it shows. Just things don't pan out correctly for that other team. They struggle, that other team, very badly. So you got to find a way to stop them. That's the key for the Patriots on defense. Now let's get into all the keys of the game. We have the Rams get the ball to playmakers' hands. We've seen it. When Akers and Henderson have good days, when Kupp and Woods have good days, they all have good games. Even if 1 or 2 of them only have decent days, they could still find a way to win. So get the ball in your playmakers' hands. For the defense, stop the run game. Pass game isn't going to hurt you, especially with Jalen Ramsey back there. Pass game isn't going to really, really, really damage you. It's going to be the run game, if anything. And we've seen Patriots utilize the run even more these past couple of games. And for the Patriots on defense or on offense, it's stop Aaron Donald. If he could disrupt an entire team. I mean, he could literally take the energy from one team and just bring it over. That's really how it is. So stop Aaron Donald. And then for the defense, it is stop one of the playmakers. You can't have all 4 of them have good games. And your secondary is a little thin, but Gilmore and McCourty got to step up there. So that's really the goal there. So these are your keys to the games. So like I said, the over-under changed. It was 44. It's 43 now. Wow, so the over-under changed. So it was 44, now it's 43.5. Pretty much the same thing, though. I don't think that really affects my pick. But anyway, so now let's look at it. So the Rams, like I said earlier, come in 4.5-point favorites, and the over/under is 43.5. Some of the questionables, a ton of them. Butler, shoulder questionable. Covert, back questionable. Cam Newton, abdomen questionable. Bentley, groin questionable. J.C. Jackson, hip questionable. He would be big if they don't have him. Johnson, knee questionable. Jones, neck questionable. Taylor, quadricep questionable. Kyle Duggar, toe questionable. Guy, shoulder questionable. Slater, knee questionable. Folk, back questionable. Izzo, hamstring questionable. Mason, calf questionable. There's a couple big names on this list. Cam Newton, J.C. Jackson, Kyle Duggar, Nick Folk, Izzo, and Mason. Those are, if you don't have those are big losses. And Slater, too. Let's look at the league rankings. Points per game, Rams are 17th. Patriots are 23rd. Points per game allowed, Patriots are 7th. Rams are 5th. Total yards per game, Patriots are 22nd. Rams are 3rd. Pass yards per game, Patriots are 30th. Rams are 6th. Rush yards per game, Patriots are 3rd. Rams are 8th. And the yards per game allowed, Patriots are 3rd or 12th. Rams are 2nd. And the total, So those are all your ranking totals. So it's pretty good. I'll tell you. I mean, it's a pretty even matchup, I think. But this is my pick. Let me get over to calculate the over/under. Let me just check what my pick was. I did it earlier. Okay, so I do have the Rams winning this game. I just think they're the better team. I think they have a lot more skill. I just think their defense is going to be too tough to get past if you're the Patriots. So their defense is just insane. So that's why I'm going to take the Rams 31-17. I think the Rams cover, and I take the over on the over/under 43.5. So that's what my pick is. I got the Rams winning. So hopefully I get this pick correctly. There's a lot of other good games this weekend. So hopefully that pans out all good. Coming up next, fantasy football. Okay, so here we go. So let's get fantasy up here. Okay. So, so that happened. 3-4 questionables in my starting lineup. So anyway. So, let's go to this league first, because this league I've got one person going tonight. My other league I have one person as well, but it's still up in the air on what I'm going to decide to do. Let's see. Okay, so let's see here. Okay. So tonight I have what's it called? Tonight I have two players in total in both leagues going. But in my one league I have a receiver. In my other league I have a defense. So I'll run through my one league. This is my 6 and 7 league. This league I'm actually projected to win in, which is kind of surprising because I'm a big underdog, but I am projected to win in this game. But this is my league. So I got Aaron Rodgers. This is my team. So I got Aaron Rodgers, Chris Carson, Austin Eckler, Devontae Adams, Robert Woods, Hunter Henry, Ezekiel Elliott, Saints defense, and Daniel Carlson. On my bench is Juju Smith-Schuster, DJ Moore, David Johnson, Allen Robinson, Todd Gurley, Rob Gronkowski, and Ronald Jones. So I love my matchups this week. I really do. Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams against Detroit. It's favorable. Chris Carson against the Jets. Favorable. Austin Eckler and Hunter Henry against Atlanta. Very good. Elliott against Cincinnati. Very good. Saints defense against the Eagles. Very good. And even I like Robert Woods. So I have Robert Woods going tonight. I would start him. I think he's been very good. And what's tough about this team is if one's locked down, the other one's usually open. So one of them's either Cooper Kupp or Robert Woods is going to have a good game. Either one of them. So I say take your chances with Robert Woods today. He's had a couple good weeks, and he's been averaging about 10 a game. But, even in an off week, he's going to get you about 8 points even in an off week. And 8 points is solid for a receiver. So still very solid. So hopefully he can do well tonight, which is obviously the plan. I have 2 questionables in my starting lineup for this league. Chris Carson, there's no really news on him except it's just been that lingering foot. And for Ezekiel Elliott was listed as limited participant on Wednesday's estimated practice report with a calf injury. Rob Phillips of the Cowboys official site reports. So keep an eye on it. Like I said, it's Thursday. Now, if you have one of the running backs going tonight and you don't know what to do, I don't love really any of the running backs tonight. I know Cam Akers or Darrell Henderson or Rex Burkhead or Damian Harris. I would probably just leave it with Elliott because I don't love any of the running backs tonight. They're all splitting time. So I would probably stick with Elliott. For my bench, DJ Moore got to come off the COVID-19 list. Allen Robinson's questionable as well. Robinson knee was a limited participant in Wednesday's practice report. So in Wednesday's practice. So they're all questionables. Nothing really severe. And Gurley knee practiced in a limited capacity Wednesday. Will McFadden of the Falcons official site reports. Yeah. So I'm not starting Gurley this week. He had a very bad week last week. He had 8 carries for 16 yards, so I'm not starting him this week. I started him last week. Did not like the production. Elliott, I was pleasantly surprised last week. He was on my bench. I was pleasantly surprised. So I'm going to obviously start him. And against Cincinnati's defense, I think that really favors him. Rodgers he's had an insane season. I have Rodgers going bang. I have him having a huge game. So that's the deal there. So, 6-7. Hopefully we come up as the underdog and win it all. And in my other league, I got Deshaun Watson, Kenyon Drake, James Robinson, Tyreek Hill, Mike Evans, Keenan Allen, Hunter Henry, A.J. Brown, Rams defense, and Darren Carlson. My bench is Antonio Gibson, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Chris Godwin, Raheem Mostert, Ravens defense, and David Johnson. So I have Rams defense going tonight. I like it against a Patriots offense that I wouldn't say they're that good. They're decent, but definitely like the matchup there. As for James Robinson, he was questionable. Robinson knee was a limited participant in Wednesday's practice. Terry McCormick of the TitanInsider.com reports. So keep your eye on that. Tyreek Hill as well. Hill illness, return to practice Thursday. Adam Teicher of the ESPN.com reports. So, that's good. Evans' hamstring was limited at practice Wednesday, and A.J. Brown did not practice Wednesday due to an ankle injury. Terry McCormick of the TitanInsider.com reports. So you have obviously got some news there. The really concerning one is the A.J. Brown. He didn't practice, but last week he didn't practice either, and he still played. Other than that, you have 2 limiteds and 1 full. So, so far so good there. Gibson's doubtful. Gibson is unlikely to play Sunday against the 49ers after being diagnosed with turf toe. Ian Rappaport of the NFL Network reports. I think I said that yesterday. And as for Godwin finger didn't practice Wednesday. That finger, he obviously had surgery on it early on in the year. It has not been right all year long. So that does not really surprise me. That's why I'm not crazy concerned, because it's been a lingering one. It's not like a new injury. But still, an injury is an injury. You got to watch out for that. I would recommend starting Rams defense this week. I've said this so many times this year. And they've been so good this year. They've been so dominant. I would definitely start them. I mean, I think they'll win. I think they'll have a pretty good game. I mean, I just don't know. Cam Newton, he just doesn't really scare me as a quarterback. He doesn't, if I was, and I'm not trying to say he's bad, but he's not going to damage you he's not going to hurt you with his arm. If anything, it's going to be the legs, and the Rams have one of the top rush defenses in the league. I just feel like the matchup is there to start them. That's why I really, really like it. And hey, if this costs you, then you can blame it on me all you want. But I think it's the right decision. They've had some good weeks against some good offenses. They had a good week last week against a good offense. They had a good week against a good offense in Seattle. A good week against a good offense, a pretty good week against a decent offense in Tampa Bay. Not great, but still. They're averaging about 8.9 points per game, and they're third-ranked defense in fantasy. So I don't see why you wouldn't use them there. I love the matchup. I really think it favors them. So that's my team there. So hopefully both leagues, everything goes as planned. And like I said, keep up with those questionables, right? Don't, lose. Don't get behind on those questionables, because there's still a very good chance that some of them might not play. But definitely watch out with those questionables. Because, if you keep on waiting, and all of a sudden oh, this guy's not playing, and you completely forget about it, and you look on it at midday on Sunday, and you realize that your star player was out, and you're sitting there, oh no, well, that one's on you. So you got to just keep track with those questionables, right? You just got to do it. Because you can't wait till Sunday morning and be like, oh no, my player's out, what do I do? You can't do that. So now we move on to the buy or sell of the MLB coming up next. Okay, so the MLB obviously off-season. The MLB obviously off-season's heating up. It's around this time, winter meetings, December, catchers and pitchers report. And I don't even want to say this because it's still 2 months away, but it is coming closer. Catchers and pitchers report February. A lot of these guys will really start to throw and really start to get back really into the baseball motion around now because they realize they got to report in about a month and a half. So they got to realize they got to report in about 2 months, which is, it might seem like a long time, but a lot of times for these players, it's really not. So the offseason's starting to heat up. And I said this a couple days ago, or I said this about a couple weeks ago. It's at this point, it's a lot of rumors. But you'll find out, these next couple of weeks will be heat up. Something might not happen, but the rumors will start to heat up, obviously. But really, any second now, there could be a trade. I mean, that's the thing. Any second, there could be a trade. But there usually is that set time where there's a lot of trades. Like, there's always that one day where your phone's vibrating every 3 seconds because there's a trade. Oh, this guy's here. This guy's going here. Oh, this guy's here. And your brain just can't keep up with it. There's always sometimes those days. Some days you hear about one guy. Some days you don't. You could go weeks without hearing anything. So we're going to just play it as it is. I'm going to play buy or sell, a game I really enjoy. It's a game I guess I kind of made up myself. I mean, I know other people, I'm sure, do it as well. But I kind of just thought of it. It could either be yes or no to the rumor, but buy or sell sounds a little bit better. So, to explain the rules, just so you understand, just so then you don't watch this video and wonder why I'm saying buy or sell. Buy or sell is a little game. I'm going to give you 6. I did 3 buys, 3 sells just to make it even. I kind of just brainstormed a couple. I was going to do 10, but then I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do that much, so I just did about 6. I kind of just did it off my top of my head. I had 3 buy, 3 sells, said there's no reason to keep on going on. So I got 3 buy, 3 sells. I'm going to tell you a rumor that's going around or a thing that could happen. I'm going to tell you if I buy it. If I buy it, it means I think that's going to happen. If I sell it, that means I don't think it's going to happen. So that is the game. So let's get into it, as we are already 42 minutes into the video. So let's get into it here. The first one up is a hot topic around the league. A hot topic really around not just the Mets, but just around the league in general. Trevor Bauer to the Mets. Okay, this rumor has been going around really since Steve Cohen took over, I would say, which is, now we're going on about a month and a half now since Steve Cohen, maybe a month now, since Steve Cohen I'm not sure exactly. Comment down below. I would imagine about a month now we're going on since Steve Cohen got hired as the GM, or not the GM, sorry, the owner, bought the team as the owner of the New York Mets. So this topic's been going around because Steve Cohen's going to spend money. So I'm going to tell you if I buy or sell this. So Trevor Bauer to the Mets. I buy this. I buy Trevor Bauer to the Mets. The reason I'm buying this is because, first off, Steve Cohen's going to spend money. And I said this yesterday on the podcast when James McCann went to the Mets. They're not going to spend money right this second. They're going to spend money. They're going to spend money on these top guys. You're not going to spend $200 million on James McCann. You're just not. He's not that high grade of a guy. That doesn't mean he's a bad player, but it means he's just not that high graded of a guy. He's not a JT Realmuto. He's not a Salvador Perez. He's not a Yadier Molina. He's going to spend money, though, Steve Cohen. It might be a slow process. It's not going to be, let me spend all my money in one day. It's going to be stretched out. I'll spend a little bit here. I'll spend a little bit here. Everyone's expecting the New York Mets to go all out this season on pitching, on hitting, on fielding. Completely all out with their money. They're expecting them to go all out. Trevor Bauer, George Springer, guys like that, they're expecting to go all out. So I buy this rumor of Trevor Bauer to the Mets, and I think Trevor Bauer seems intrigued. He really likes Steve Cohen. He said it so many times within the past couple weeks. He's been tweeting all about it and all that stuff. Trevor Bauer to the Mets. I buy this rumor. Next up, almost the same thing. George Springer to the Mets. I buy this rumor. I think this is going to happen. We have not heard anything about George Springer going to another team other than the Mets. There's been some ramblings about some other teams and possibly the Astros, But George Springer is going to be a very good player for the New York Mets if and when he goes there, okay? He's going to be a very good player for them. He can hit, he can field, he can play, he could play all three positions in the outfield. He's played center, he's played right, and he's played left. He could play all three positions in the outfield. He's quick, he's fast, very knowledgeable for the game. He knows a lot about the game. He really does. He's an all-star. He's a good hitter. That's most of all. He's a very good hitter. The Mets have been last in a lot of categories for hitting. They're gonna want to bring hitting in. That's why I think they're gonna spend a lot of money on defense and hitting mainly. that you could say that's your only thing in baseball to spend it on defense and hitting, but there could be guys that you spend your money on for leadership, for young guys. They're spending their money mainly on just hitting. No matter how old or young you are, if you can hit the ball 350 feet, we're picking you up. Okay. George Springer can do that. He's a good hitter, not just home runs. He can hit line drives, a good single-double kind of hitter, not just home run kind of guy. He can hit the ball, and like I said, most of all, Steve Cohen's going to spend money. George Springer, you're going to need to spend your money on him. I buy this rumor. Next up, number 3, we got Reds trading Sonny Gray. I sell this, okay? With Trevor Bauer already becoming a free agent, and with Trevor Bauer, more than likely, I would say there's a 95% chance he does not return to the Cincinnati Reds. If I was the Cincinnati Reds, you might field calls. Sure, if there's a call that comes in and you like the deal, okay. But Sonny Gray is coming off of a very, very good season. Very good season. He had a very good year with the Cincinnati Reds. And the Reds made the playoffs last season. And it was not because of their pitching that lost. It was because of their hitting. Their pitching did very well for the first 2 games of the wild card. They just could not do anything else. I've always said this about Sonny Gray. And there's certain pitchers out there who are your type of pitchers that's a small market pitcher, big market pitcher, and some guys, for example, Masahiro Tanaka, he thrives under pressure. He's one of the best postseason pitchers in baseball. There's also guys like Garrett Cole. He loves big markets. He's very good in big markets. He thrives in big markets. That's him. There's guys like DJ LeMahieu. He was with the Rockies. He was still very good with the Rockies. Once he came to a big market like the Yankees, he's thriving. He's even better. There's also guys like Sonny Gray and a guy like James Paxton on the Yankees too. Very good on small markets. Come to the big market, they stink. A lot of times just too much pressure, media, just all the outside noise. Sometimes it's tough for these guys to focus and just a lot more pressure. Cincinnati, you're going to have a lot more pressure playing on the New York Yankees than you are the Cincinnati Reds. So I actually think this deal is good for both teams if both of them stay, for both sides of this. Sonny Gray, it's good because the Reds are a small market team. He's going to succeed there. And ultimately, he's going to have another good season, in my opinion. So ultimately, I think this is good for Sonny Gray, and it's ultimately good for the Reds because you're losing your Cy Young pitcher in Trevor Bauer, which I think is going to the Mets. You're losing him. You keep Sonny Gray, keep some of that young pitching around him, and maybe make another run to the playoffs. I'm selling this rumor of the Reds trading Sonny Gray. Obviously, Sonny Gray came to the Yankees and he stunk. But him, when he was with the A's, when he was with the Reds last season, very good pitcher. Sonny Gray. Reds trading Sonny Gray. I sell this rumor. Next up, Indians trading Francisco Lindor. I buy this rumor. I can almost put money on this rumor that it's going to happen. I'm more confident about this, and I'm very confident about the Trevor Bauer to the Mets. But I'm even more confident about Indians trading Francisco Lindor. This has been the hot topic really ever since the Indians got eliminated in the wild card round against the New York Yankees. Is Lindor going to come back? What's going to happen with Lindor? Are they going to trade Lindor? Are they going to keep Lindor? What's Lindor? Lindor and the Indians almost have kind of already mutually parted ways. Yes, if you Google him, it still says he's an American baseball player for the Cleveland Indians. But at this point, we all know he's not coming back to the Indians. The Indians are going to trade him. And I'll tell you what, there's going to be teams, including the Yankees, that are going to be, there's going to be teams, including the Yankees, that are going to be on the phone. He is not going to stay with the Indians. The Indians have already traded Ramirez, have already traded Santana, and guys like that. They're going through a slight rebuild. Francisco Lindor will be out of there. And they're going to get, I would assume, some young prospects, some young players, maybe another shortstop, right? If you get a 2-for-1, if you send him over 2 young infielders that could develop for Francisco Lindor, that could be something there. So Indians trading Francisco Lindor, I buy this deal. Next up, Francisco Lindor to the Yankees. I sell this, okay? There was a lot of hot news on this. Really, I actually heard this news broke back in June. You hear rumors. It could be literally me coming on this podcast and making up my own rumor, and not that it would explode, but people start talking about it. A rumor is just a thing that someone says and people hype it up. That's why I don't always believe in rumors. When someone says, "Oh, this is it," if someone says sometimes rumors, they're rumors, right? They're rumors. Like, oh, I could say there's a rumor that Bill Cowher is going to become the next Jets head coach. There's actually is a rumor going around. Does that mean he is? No. We heard about the Francisco Lindor going to the Yankees a couple months ago, and even just the past couple of weeks and stuff. That Yankees Francisco Lindor talk has completely went to a complete halt. I don't know if there was a flat tire or whatever, but it is completely went to a complete halt. I don't know if the Yankees offered something for Lindor and they did not like it and they just stopped talking. Whatever the case may be, it came to a complete halt. And for that reason, I'm selling. Because for a team, the Mets have been on Trevor Bauer's top list. Lindor, the Yankees are now, I feel like, on the bottom of his list. I sell this move, and I know the Yankees all too well not to go out and get big names in free agency other than Garrett Cole. I sell this deal. Next up, my final one, Josh Bell to the Yankees. News broke yesterday about Josh Bell coming over to the Yankees. The Yankees and the Pirates have been in serious talks to try to get the lefty, the switch-hitter third baseman, Josh Bell over to the Yankees. I can understand why this move is. He's a lefty, power hitter, really, really, really good hitter. Power hitter, that short porch in right field at Yankee Stadium. Lefties thrive at Yankee Stadium. Which is why you see a lot of times a lot of heavy lefty lineups, because all that is just straight up short porch. I sell this deal, and the reason is because the Yankees already have Luke Voit. Why trade for a first baseman when Luke Voit's coming off of a 23 home run career year in the MVP voting? Why give up Luke Voit? Don't give up Luke Voit, and if you trade for Josh Bell, Luke Voit's got to be in that move somewhere. I sell this deal because I really believe this isn't even just so much what I think. This is actually my opinion. This is my opinion. I don't think you should do this. This is kind of more of an opinionated too. The other ones, I'm looking at facts. This one's more opinion. I don't think so. And I also think it would happen. It doesn't make sense. It does not make sense to get Josh Bell when your first baseman like Luke Voit's coming off of a year that he had. Don't do this. I sell this deal. So, these are the 6. I'm going to just read through them one more time. Trevor Bauer to the Mets. I buy it. George Springer to the Mets, I buy it. The Mets are going to spend money. Steve Cohen's going to get the big names over here, over to the Mets. I buy those. Reds trading Sonny Gray, I sell it. With Bauer leaving, with him not probably re-signing, obviously, Sonny Gray is really one of your main guys. So Sonny Gray, I sell. Indians trading Francisco Lindor, I buy it. That's been one of the most hot topics throughout the MLB. I buy it. Francisco Lindor to the Yankees, I sell it. Rumors were high about it. Now it's came to a screeching halt. I sell it. Josh Bell to the Yankees, I sell as well. So those are your 6 rumors. Buy 3 of them. Sell 3 of them. That's buy or sell. Now coming up next here, we got some college games on tonight for both basketball and football. So I'll probably watch, maybe the basketball. I'll watch the Thursday night game. And I think there's a basketball game that comes on later. But I'll definitely be watching the Thursday night football game, like I always do. But let's get those up in case if you are going to watch those. Let's see. Alrighty, so college basketball. We got Arizona State versus South Dakota or San Diego State. I give Arizona State the win. And for college football, Florida Atlantic, Southern Miss. I give Florida Atlantic the win. Pittsburgh, Georgia Tech. I give Pittsburgh the win. And those are your games. And then tomorrow we got some games as well. A big week for college football. Big week for Miami. We're wearing the all black uniforms. The Miami Night uniforms 2.0. Like I said, I have the 1.0 uniforms. They're nice. The black uniforms, they're really, really nice. I have the first ones. They're really nice. I always wear them. Even if it's blackout or not blackout, that's the only Miami jersey I have. So they're really nice. They are. I'm excited. I mean, it's a big game. It's a big game against North Carolina. I mean, not even just the fact that it's with the black unis. It's just the fact that it's a big game period for the ACC, for the college football playoff, for bowl games. It's a big game period for Miami. So, if we want any chance to really get into this New Year's Six Bowl, we got to win that game. Got to prove everyone that we really are. A lot of people calling us overrated and stuff, which I can understand because we've had some close games against some teams that we should be crushing. But also in those close games, we've just made slight mistakes. If you clean up some of these mistakes, you could really be a solid football team. So that's what I got for the podcast today. Like always, tomorrow will be the Football Friday. I'll be giving you all my Football Friday game picks, all the football game picks, NFL, college, all that good stuff. And we'll do a special preview for the Jets and the Giants, obviously because of New York sports. So that's tomorrow. Tomorrow's a packed podcast with all the Football Friday. So, so football game picks will be tomorrow. With all that being said, I will see you all back here tomorrow. Hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.